Good afternoon, League City. This is John Griffith, your Public Information Officer for the League City Police Department. And I'm going live today because people had questions and I've received some information about the stuff that has gone out about the local disaster declaration that had been City Council had rescinded it, and I just wanted to give everybody a little more information to be able to help with this out there. First of all, we want to say that League City is doing a great job. We've got a great group of people here in the city, and despite what's going on, all the citizens, everybody, the businesses, people have been supporting the police department and supporting our local businesses, and there's still people out there that need help, and we understand that. But for what we have going on right now, not just in League City, but all over the United States, worldwide, our citizens are wonderful. And that's the first thing that I want to say is that it's been great. And I know that there's been some news that has gone out about the local disaster declaration that was implemented in March, and the City Council on Tuesday, April 14th, decided not to extend that. And what you need to understand is that when they implemented that city ordinance, that was put in effect to cover some holes in things that the county had put out and to help with the enforcement that the state order had put out. But with them not extending the city ordinance, it doesn't change anything as far as League City is concerned. So we did have a city ordinance that said you could write a ticket for someone that was violating the orders. And I want to tell you, first of all, that we responded to over 100 complaints of people violating the order, and we didn't write any tickets. No one went to jail. People in League City have been cooperative. They've been understanding, and we're just trying to get along. We're just trying to do what we have to be able to get through this. And the officers and everybody understands that. So with that ordinance not being extended, what the options are is a Class B misdemeanor. It's called a violation of a state order, and it's a Class B misdemeanor and $1,000 fine, which means that if somebody got charged with that, they'd have to be arrested, go to county jail, and bond out. We're not about that, and we're not trying to enforce those kind of things on people. But you need to know that's out there. Now, the police department still could write a citation for attempted violation, and it would be up to a $500 fine, and it would be handled within the municipal court here in the city of League City. But I'm going through some of the documents that were here, and as the chief of police said, he's still advising the officers in the dispatch center that if there's a violation, our first approach will be to give them a verbal warning. Only as a last resort should we issue a citation or even take them to jail at all. And the people in the city, the calls that we've made, they understand what we're doing. We're in this with you. It's not just the police officers that are working to try and restrict the community. We've had a number of officers that have been tested. We had 4 officers at the police department that contracted the COVID-19 disease, and 3 of them have recovered. 1 of them is waiting on a release. The other 3 are already scheduled to return back to work. So this isn't something that is just affecting the general public. The police officers, our fire marshal's office was devastated, and now they're all returning back to work and set to come back to work. We do have an EMS personnel that has tested positive, and because of the safety precautions that they've got, only 1 of them, even though that a lot of them were in the area and it could have been contaminated, We still have a fireman that is very sick, a volunteer firefighter that's very sick that we're we're praying for, and so we got to understand that we're all going through this together. As far as the police department, you can still make calls for anything. I still have people asking, is it okay that I call in and report anything, something that's dangerous, things that they see, shoplifting, people stealing stuff? Yes, call those things in. We're still working. We're at full force. We have adjusted some of our scheduling, but it hasn't changed our response. We're still responding. If a police officer needs to handle a call, a police officer will go to the call and handle it. We're trying to take everything we can over the phone to promote social distancing and to keep from cross-contaminating. But if we need to go somewhere, we're going to respond to it, and we're still here to help. So our police officers and the professional personnel, our telecommunicators, which, by the way, this week is National Telecommunicator Week. Our telecommunicators are still working, and we're all trying to get us through this in the best way that we can. The chief gave me a statement that I wanted to read, and it says, this is from Chief Gary Ratliff, the chief of police. I really am proud of the way the citizens of League City have voluntarily complied with the direction provided by the state, county, and city since the end of March. The men and women of the League City Police Department appreciate everyone doing their part. This is how we feel, and at a last ditch effort to get people to comply, the last resort would be to write a citation or arrest someone. But we responded over 100 calls in the last 3 weeks, and that hasn't happened. We have a great city, and this is a great place to be, and we're happy that that the citizens understand that we're going through this just like all of you are. And let me see. I'm gonna look through. We had some other questions. So if you have questions about what is still in effect, the orders hasn't changed at all. Everything's still in effect. The same things that were required to be closed before are still required to be closed. If you have questions about what can be open and what's allowed, the city has a phone number that you can call with a legal rep that works normal business hours. So Monday through Friday, I think it's a half a day on Friday. But if you go to our Facebook page here, or to the city's page or the city website, it has information about it. But I'll give you the phone number. The legal rep for the city is 281-554-1219. That's 281-554-1219. And the person there is in the legal department and will be able to answer any questions that you have in reference to the COVID guidelines, things that are allowed to be done within the city, things that can be open, things that should be closed. They'll be able to help you. If you get information from them and you still don't know what you should be doing, and you think that maybe the police need to be contacted, feel free to contact the police department. In certain situations, they may redirect you back to the legal department. We don't have all the information about that in our telecommunications when you get to them. But if police officers need to respond, you can call us and we will respond to handle any type of situation. We've had a lot of calls in reference to people gathering, and there's been times where people called us and said that there was too many cars parked in front of a business, but when the officer got there, it was people working there and people picking up their food. When I went and picked up my food locally, there was a lot of cars parked out front, but everybody was sitting inside their cars waiting on their food to come out. So remember the situation here. You can't control what other people are doing, but you can control what you're doing. And we really want everybody to make the right decisions. And so far, we haven't had any issues with citizens complying or not being understanding. So I don't have anything else. Just that you need to understand that the chief of police has directed everybody with the police department to understand that we're all going through this crisis together, and our last thing we want to do is to issue a citation or arrest someone that is in the middle of this, just as we are. We know how difficult it is because we're living it alongside of everyone else within our city. So if somebody says, Jonah Taylor says, can they put the rims back on the basketball goals? No. So unfortunately, the parks that are owned by the city, all the parks are open, and we encourage you to go outside, be outside, but not to gather. And if you play basketball and you're doing it right, you're going to be sweaty and you're going to be close to people and you're touching the same basketball other people are. The only way that could be done is within people from the same household. So no, you can't go out with your friends and gather. We got a lot of people that want to do those things, and I understand. We haven't been able to get out and get back to normal, but we're doing a good job, and we're flattening the curve out and keeping our hospitals from being overloaded. I did talk to a representative, someone from a Texas hospital, that said that their hospital wasn't overloaded, but the ICU was. It was full. And those are some of the things that we're trying to keep up, because last thing you want is someone in your family not to have a ventilator or something, a service available to them when they need it. Let's see if there's any other questions in here. We got a lot of people watching, and we got some good comments, positive feedback. Okay, League City, if you've got other questions, send them to me, post there. Frank asked if the dog park is open again. So all the city parks are supposed to be open. That would be a question. The police department doesn't handle that, but I'll get an answer for you and post that, Frank, underneath as a response to your question there. So once again, if you have questions, ask them. I'll try and find the answers for you. But we got to bear with us for just a few more weeks so we can get through this and get back to what our normal is. League City, it's great to be here, and I'm glad that I was able to take this time, and I hope that you found some of this information helpful. This is John Griffith, your Public Information Officer for the League City Police Department.